now.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, thank you all very much for coming today. The Bridgeport Police Department scored 3 big victories today, and the citizens should know that they are safer as a result of their terrific work. There was an arrest in the shooter on the East Main Street homicide on Monday. We are closing the books on a 2009 murder that happened in the north end behind Blackham School. It was the murder of Kevin Solar, and the arrest of a suspect in the kidnapping and assault of a restaurant employee recently. I really want to thank the Bridgeport Police Department for their hard work, especially the Patrol Division and the Detective Bureau, who worked hand in glove and worked very hard to make these arrests. I want to thank the Chief for leading the department. And I know that the Police Department is working countless hours to find the murderer of Kejne Robinson and Milin Zhao, the restaurant owner, who were also killed and around the same time as the victim on East Main Street. The Chief and I are very appreciative of the community efforts to work with the Police Department. And if the community continues to work with our Police Department, I'm confident that we will bring all the guilty parties to justice. So I urge Bridgeport residents to continue to work with the Police Department so that we can bring all of the guilty parties to justice. I'd like to turn it over to the Chief so that he could give you some more of the details and to also give you the Detective Bureau hotline number so that citizens will continue to give tips to the police. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. That number, 581-5201. It's 581-5201, the number to call in the Detective Bureau if anybody has any information that they can offer to any crime, but especially these most recent homicides. Very proud of the work that our officers have been doing. Been working extra hard after these homicides. A combination of some great police work, technology, cooperation among different police agencies, including the state criminal justice system and parole, has led to the arrest of Neftali Beniquez Velez of Waterbury in the Monday shooting of Myro Joey Santiago. Just a really great job by our Detective Bureau, really great detective work. Can't say enough about witnesses that have been very cooperative in this particular instance, and as a result, again, using some technology, we were able to develop a suspect very quickly and bring this person to justice. So very proud to report that at least this one particular homicide has been, we consider the case closed. Secondly, the arrest in the case of Kevin Solar from 2009 on Breton Street, that was a kind of an unusual homicide, as I recall. That Breton Street homicide right next to the North End Little League baseball field caused a lot of concern in the neighborhood, and our guys worked very hard on that. Over the years, there have been quite a few different organizations involved besides the Bridgeport Police Department, cooperating with our department in bringing this investigation to a close and resulting in the arrest of 3 parties. I'd like to single out specifically Detective Winkler, who's been investigating that homicide and has been able to close this case with the 3 arrests. Members of our emergency services unit went out this morning and were able to apprehend 2 of the 3 parties, the 3rd party already being a guest of the Bridgeport Correctional Center. Another tremendous job, very proud of the work that all our guys are doing, and would like to thank the West Haven Police Department for their support of our emergency services unit this morning in serving those warrants. Lastly, as the Mayor mentioned, I'd like to highlight a significant arrest as a result of a kidnapping, assault, robbery that occurred on the 24th at Tony's Huntington Inn on Huntington Turnpike. Another instance of really great police work where officers followed the leads, were able to identify cooperating witnesses, led them to an address where they were able to make a consensual entrance and bring the suspect directly in confrontation with the victim. The victim made a positive identification, and we were able to make an on-site arrest on this kidnapping and assault. And that gentleman, the suspect under arrest is Daryl Billups, who has an extensive violent crime history. He posed himself as a client, a patron, a customer at Huntington Inn, and coerced the bartender to give him a ride, and subsequently robbed her, assaulted her, kidnapped her, left her, but she was able to free herself and cooperate with the police. And due to our really great work by our detectives, they were able to bring that to a close and make an arrest. So really a really good day for the Bridgeport Police Department. I can't say enough. I told you the other day, our Detective Bureau is second to none. I mean that. Our patrol division out there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, working very hard, trying to protect the people of the city of Bridgeport, make them safer. And it's through the cooperation of our citizens and with other agencies that we're able to make these arrests and bring these folks to justice. And we thank the community for their cooperation, and we encourage them to continue to cooperate. Our most recent 2 homicides are still being actively investigated. Our detectives continue to follow leads, but we can never have enough information. So once again, I'd ask people to call with any information that they think they might have, no matter how insignificant. And that number is 203-581-5201. Please call our Detective Bureau, pass on the information. You may remain anonymous. Any bit of information is going to be helpful. So thank you once again for coming, and have a good day.
Before we go to questions, there's just one final point I want to make, and I hope that you can help us with this. There's been a lot of shoe leather expended on these cases. We want to make sure that the prosecutors and the judges expend the same intensity of public service to the public on these cases. We don't want to see people with these criminal histories roaming the streets. We want them locked up for a long time. We don't want to see people finagling their way out of justice. We need the prosecutors, we need the judges to be tough because they're being released back into our streets. Mr. Billups, I am told, has an extensive violent criminal history. Every citizen in Bridgeport would want to know, why is he a patron at one of our neighborhood restaurants, where I happen to frequent? I am not happy about this, and I really urge the prosecutors and the judges to get tougher and to use the full extent of their powers. Help me keep the streets of Bridgeport safe, and help the chief keep the people that he's apprehended in jail for the longest period of time possible. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to follow up, since you guys are talking so much about getting feedback from the community and such. We had one of the parents of Bridgeport call us and say that the shooting that happened over the weekend that killed the 15-year-old girl, that it, in their opinion, was a retaliation shooting to the 14-year-old that we saw murdered last summer over by Washington Park, I believe. Have you guys heard that it was possibly a retaliation shooting? Do you have any go on that?
You know, we can't comment on the case that's ongoing. There are lots of things that the police department gets in the way of tips and help, and we have to sort through it all. And we will certainly let you know as soon as there's any hard information, but right now it's under investigation. We'd have no comment on that.
And if that was some information that we did receive, we would absolutely follow up with that and try to verify that and try to corroborate it. Because there was a reason for that shooting happening. And to know someone's motivation helps and assists us in solving the crime.
Where are the majority of the tips coming from? Are they by phone, iWatch, Bridgeport? Is it by the phone? How are they normally coming in?
Most of them are face-to-face, Steve. You know, it's good old-fashioned shoe leather, as the mayor said.
Yeah.
Can't say enough about the job. The guys are out there, they're talking with people, they're cooperating, folks are cooperating with them. You know, our police officers do have good relationships with the community, and that, I think that shows in how we can bring these cases to a close so quickly.
Just to let you know, we were joined by two city councilwomen, a councilwoman and a councilman, Lydia Martinez and Carlos Silva. They're concerned about this issue, obviously, as well. Mike?
Was a gun recovered in the East Main Street shooting, and if not, what type of weapon was used in that shooting?
There was not a gun recovered, Mike, and I don't have a specific caliber or anything for you, but we have not yet recovered the weapon.
And in terms of the
Thank you for asking that, Michael. We want to know where these guns are coming from, and I've asked you guys to keep asking that question, and I'm proud of you for asking that question. Thank you.
In terms of the teen's shooting, from what you've heard, was she the intended victim or was someone else the intended victim?
There were other people on that porch, Mike. We know that, and so our detectives are talking with everybody who's on that porch, and we're trying still to determine whether or not there was an intended victim or whether it was a random act.
But again, Mike, if there are people who have information on that, whether it was retaliation, whether it wasn't, whether there was an intended victim or it was random, the police need to know that. That phone number again is
203-581-5201.
Were there shell casings recovered in that shooting, and if so, what caliber?
I don't have that info, Mike. Sorry.
we got to get that.
Sure. We can get that to you.
He's asking the question, so we got to get it.
No, we'll get it to you.
Thank you, Mike.
Any other questions?
Mike's my favorite reporter in the room. He's asking about the gun.
We're all set?
Are we able to get the exact spelling of all of these names and all of that? Do we have it?
We've got it here.
Okay.
Yeah.